Hey gang, Spade of the Baltmatrix here, and you know what's awesome? AWACS are awesome. What is an AWAC? Well, Dark of the Moon Air Raid is an AWAC. AWAC stands for Advanced Early Warning and Control System. That's what this large dish on the top of the flight mode is. What it is pretty much a giant rotating radar dish unit. And these things are instrumental to air forces all over the planet Earth. In fact, this is probably one of my favorite alt modes from the Dark of the Movie line, simply because how many AWAC transformers have there been? I can think of this one and maybe a mini-con at some point, but this is really, really awesome. The only real issue in this mode is you can see the robot's left arm or left fist in the tail wing section of the mode. But otherwise, this thing is pretty darn awesome. It does have a very small footprint, which I am surprised at, but I don't mind that at all, as the robot mode is equally lithe and thin, which we'll get into here in a second. But overall, I've got to give the designers a huge double thumbs up for this mode, because it works on just about every level that I can think of. The coloring is perfect. I love the fact that there is a giant radar dish on top of the plane, and it just looks really, really cool. So let's go ahead and get into the transformation. Air Raid's robot mode is incredibly thin and lithe, and really does show you that this guy is supposed to be a plane. He has a lot of nice detailing on the robot mode itself, including the arms, the upper arms, and the face and the chest are all well molded and very, very good looking. He unfortunately does have a slightly no real hand in his right arm, which forms more of a mace or a club, if you will. Now, the AWAC unit, or the radar dish unit, is a mech-tech weapon, and its gimmick is such that you push forward and it becomes a gun. Now, originally I thought, well, what's the point? He's going to have one hand with a gun, and then another hand with a beating stick. Well, I came to the realization that this is modeled after a Roman gladiator, if you stop and think about it. Specifically, the Hoplomachus, which was the spearman, but instead of spear, we've got a club, if you will. Now, bear with me. You think about it. He's in a fight. He's in a hand-to-hand fight. He uses the shield to parry or block and then beat with the club. But, oh, he blocks, clubs, and misses. Hey, look, all of a sudden his shield becomes a gun, so it could blast the guy. And that really, just that thought really won this figure over for me, in my opinion. Just the thought that they have this really cool aesthetic of a plane and an AWAC unit, and that there's some kind of hidden meaning to the robot mode, other than we didn't know what to do with the tail. Now, the face of the robot mode is also very reminiscent of some Roman gladiator helmets. That's also a very cool thing. Either that or a flying fish of some sort. He does have some light piping, but unfortunately, the light piping is all but useless, considering that it's all white plastic. You don't actually get any color. The other thing that I find a little bit odd, especially considering the way the directions are written, is it specifically says to have these parts of the fuselage pointing forward. Well, that only gives you this much rotation in the elbow. I mean, that's it. However, if you turn it around on both arms, you've got worlds more articulation possibilities there. So normally when I display it like this. Yes, you're going to see a bunch of the insides, and yes, you're going to see the screws and whatnot. But I don't care. The extra articulation matters to me. Now, you don't actually have to deploy the mace all the way. It can collapse, so he can just walk around with the end of a plane sticking off his arm. But, I mean, there's not much difference between the two. So overall, this is an excellent figure, and I strongly recommend that you pick it up. He's got a lot of good posability in the arms and in the legs. However, he doesn't really have knees because of the way the fuselage is the entirety of his arms. Or, I'm sorry, the entirety of his leg. But as I said, on the shelf, he looks really, really good, and he's really eye-catching. So if you have a chance, pick this one up. Unfortunately, I could only pick this one up at Target.com. I couldn't find it anywhere else other than eBay. And I paid about $15 for it. But totally worth it. This is an excellent deluxe class figure. And I'm a little bit sad that it's in the movie line, considering I'm kind of done with the movie line. But overall, this guy's just a great, great figure to have in your collection.